today.
Oh, yeah.
Figure it out.
Yep. We ain't got paper printouts of the budget. Library's going first.
Huh?
Library's
Yes.
going first. Yeah.
Good. All right, go ahead and call the meeting to order. It's the Bay St. Louis, August 1st, 2024 City Council Budget Workshop. And first on the agenda is Mr. John Burdecki, Library Fund Request.
Thank you. My name is John Burdecki. I'm the Executive Director of the Library System here in Hancock County that oversees the Bay St. Louis branch. I've been in this position for just under 3 years, originally from Chicago. And the first thing that I wanted to do when I came to Hancock County was to understand where the current climate of our library system was and what the patrons wanted in terms of services and information access. And so the one thing that we ended up doing was conducting a thorough strategic planning process. We brought in a consultant, the Ivy Group, to perform this intensive strategic planning process that created our 5-year strategic plan, which is 2023 to 2027. Because prior to my arrival, we were operating under an expired strategic plan. Within that plan, it resulted in 4 areas of focus, one being responsive offerings, access and outreach, communication, one HCLS, and organizational health. But before we even got into the creation and the process of creating the strategic plan, I interviewed all my staff. And from those interviews, it really enlightened me what Hancock County was all about. I was able to understand the history of the library system, the culture of Hancock County, and where my priorities lie. And so prior to my arrival, there has been quite a bit of leadership turnover within the library system itself. I believe there has been 8, 9, 10 directors over the past 10 to 15 years, which is very difficult to run a system without stable leadership. The other thing being is the funding. The funding from 2012 to fiscal year 2023 was static, so it was just the same funding. It's actually lower, a little bit lower than what we had in fiscal year 2012, and I believe you guys have the packet of all that information as well. But another thing that occurred over that span was the library system actually went from a 4-branch system to a 5-branch system without, and this has anything to do with you all, but it gives context to my request. And what happened was we went from a 4-branch system to a 5-branch system. And when that happened, the library system did not receive any more additional income to operate a 5-branch system. So we had to, the library system, the leadership at the time had to deal with the financials that we had in order to operate a 5-branch system. They didn't.
John, real quick before I don't interrupt, but where was that 5th branch?
Diamond Head.
Where all the branches are, so I'm trying to write them down.
Okay, so we have Bay St. Louis, we have Waveland, Burlington, The Kill, and East Hancock. Those are our 5 branches. And so our funding authorities are you all, City of Waveland, the Board of Supervisors, and the City of Diamond Head. Our agreement to operate a library, a city county library system is through a 2017 agreement, the interlocal agreement that was signed in 2017. And East Hancock Diamond Head is not part of that actual agreement. So they're giving us money, and they're not even part of that agreement. They're not represented at the board of on the library board of trustees either.
Is there a reason for that?
Didn't exist.
Yeah, but they do now, and they.
So it is.
I don't know why I wouldn't update
It,
it.
it's
Outdated agreement.
it's a complicated answer, but it is my hope and my goal, as the director, to change that. I really want to look at that interlocal agreement and get Diamond Head involved more in supporting their library system and having representation on the board and changing the name of that branch, because it was a grant that was given to the board of supervisors through FEMA, through Katrina, and so it is my goal to work with Diamond Head to get them involved and represented through the board of trustees. So going back to the strategic plan, through all of the interview processes we had with movers and shakers, leaders in the community, through feedback forums, through community involvement, what I found out was that this library system is one of the best in the state of Mississippi. There's a lot of passionate people that support the library system. We are very fortunate to have such a great library system in the state of Mississippi. We have a great foundation that supports the library system, but unfortunately, it seemed as though if you didn't know about the library system, you didn't know what amazing resources the library has. So there's there's a lack of communication in terms of and marketing and advertising about what the library is actually doing. And there wasn't really much in terms of outreach. So in order to have, to be impacted by the library services, you had to come physically into the library. So with all of that, it was my goal, is to seek funding for library wages, because our wages have been stagnant from 2012 on. I was just looking, 19 of my employees, and there's about 31, 32 of them, make less than $13 an hour right now. 19 of them. The standard living of wage when I got here in 2012, according to MIT, was $14.30 for Hancock County. That is now up to $19.48 for a single individual, and 19 of my staff make less than $13 an hour. So wages is a big priority for me and my staff. But before I come to you all, the funding authorities, to ask for more money for the staff, I had to make sure that our system was on the up and up, and that we have a stable foundation, because I didn't want to come to you in the first year or second year not knowing anything about the system. So in the 3 years that I've been here, we have done a lot more. I've worked with the Library Foundation, and we've streamlined the process for which we receive funds through the foundation. And I'm happy to report that over the past 2 years, the Library Foundation's contributions to our system has been over $300,000 a year. And I want to preface this because the Library Foundation cannot pay for and cannot assume responsibility for operating costs, which include salary and wages, insurance, electric bills, things of that nature. So when I ask for money from the foundation, it's for specific things that are directly tied to the patron itself. So it's programming, it's collections, it's public technology, professional development, things of that nature, because the onus is on our funding authorities, the cities and the board supervisors, to pay the staff and insurance and things of that nature. And so I was able to work with the Library Foundation and provide more resources and library offerings that is directly tied into our strategic plan. So this is our first year of the 5-year strategic plan that we've just completed, and we have already accomplished a multitude of things that the community has said that they wanted to do. And we have all of our stats website. Our website is like our sixth branch, so we have 5 branches, but I consider our website as our sixth branch, as like our number one source for information. Everything that goes on at our branches, all the information, all the programs, it's all on our website. We try and be as transparent as can be. And each month I update my staff and I update the information about how we are going about accomplishing things in the strategic plan. So at the end of the day, it's what the community members wanted us to do with their library system. So, with the foundation, the future of our library system is very bright. I'll get into it a little bit, but there's some big projects coming up that we want to push forward, and one of them has to do with the Bay St. Louis library. But I'm a pause there. Prior to coming up, I gave you all a packet that has yellow highlights on it. I'm just going to go over this front page with it because this is the actual request. So, the library system is requesting a total of about $238,000 across all of our funding authorities. That number is then broken down to the percentage of money that is allocated from our funding authorities. So 79% is the Board of Supervisors, 11% Bay St. Louis, 9% Waveland, and then 2% is Diamond Head, as you see there. The $238,000 is going directly to salary and wages. So at one of our most recent library board of trustees meetings, they approved a salary classification structure with pay ranges and everything to get the staff up to standard rates. And so with that, it would be at $238,000 across the board. So breaking that down, I want to make sure that what I'm asking the city council total is the $25,360. That is going towards the positions at the Bay St. Louis branch only.
Okay.
So when I look at and I pull the positions that are at the Bay St. Louis branch, we have a branch manager, we have a lead library assistant, we have a reference lead, and we have a youth services coordinator and a library assistant one. So you can see their current rates, the proposed rate, and then their benefits. And then when you go across, the annual increase for Bay St. Louis, just for the staff alone, is $32,258. And then we have employees that are part of headquarters, which is our administration staff that support the other 5 branches. So they're not really tied to one branch, but they help cover all of the branches and the different things. So those are also broken down. And when it's broken down, it's divided by 5, so that a fifth of each one is allocated towards each branch. So then that total is a $21,000. So just for admin and the Bay St. Louis staff, the total is $54,000. But of that, the county would be on the hook for $28,661 and then $25,360. To make it transparent as can be, I've broken down each branch as well. So in that little island grouping, I have admin, BSL, Waveland, Pearlington, Kiln, East Hancock, and the total. So you can see there that the total of the increase for each staff, for each branch, comes full circle to that $238,000 number. So going back to the Library Foundation, we are very fortunate to have them in our county and have the support that they have for our system. We're able to do a lot more, and since 2 years ago we were able to get the increase in funding, we've added numerous different digital resources. Our circulation rates physically and digitally has gone up. Our attendance at programs, in-person attendance has gone up. The Bay St. Louis branch is our busiest branch. East Hancock is right behind them, surprisingly, because it's our smallest branch. But Bay St. Louis is still the top branch across the board. Our computer logins, Wi-Fi logins are a if you all know this, but nowadays, anytime anyone applies for government benefits, they need internet. Well, the people who are applying for government benefits usually do not have stable internet, and they usually come to the library to fill out these forms and things of that nature to receive the benefits. So the internet and the digital divide is huge, and it's real. It's something that the library system is in place for to help assist the individuals that actually are in need of those services. Some of the projects that we have moving forward, out of that 238,000, 47,000 is for a new mobile library and outreach coordinator position, because in the strategic plan, one thing that the community has said that they wanted was a mobile service where we can meet them when they are, where it could be either a Sprinter van, bus, or RV that is outfitted with technology and books and things of that nature, so that we could meet them where they are. We can do homebound services, things of that nature. And this was a theme that came up throughout the strategic plan. So we had 3 big ideas come up. One of those being a mobile library service. And the Library Foundation is backing that project. So we're at the early stages of getting quotes and figuring out the programming for it and moving that forward. But we need the support from our funding authorities for the position, because the foundation can't pay for that staff. The other thing that I'm pretty excited about is interior renovation and then an exterior project. So within the Bay St. Louis Library, it's old, it's outdated. Thanks to the Board of Supervisors, they have completely funded 100% the roof replacement. Every time it rains right now, it's raining inside the library, and it's not good because we have ceiling tiles that are collapsing. And we're just thankful that the Board of Supervisors are funding the project. The actual building is co-owned by you all and the county, so it's really the Bay St. Louis City County Library. So we're looking to create a maker space. We're looking to create a teen space, update the carpet, update the ceiling tiles, update paint, make it like it's a 21st century library. And in coordination with that, we are hoping to build right to the west of the library where there's Oak Tree. The corner property piece, I believe the city of Bay St. Louis owns that piece of property as well, but in between that piece of property and the Library Foundation that as well. And so what we're looking to do is to potentially install a mini golf course. This mini golf course would be a strategic investment. Each hole, we have 18 opportunities to tell the history and the story of Hancock County. We have a history to promote what's going on in our county and in our city of Bay St. Louis. So reaching out to businesses and organizations such as Infinity Science Center, Waveland Ground Zero Museum, the Little Theater, and having them design a hole that represents them so that we can promote what they have going on in Bay St. Louis. Because I know there isn't much to do with children on the weekends during the week. And having a mini golf course right there that can also help promote other things that are going on in the community would be wonderful.
John, are those funds that the foundation can utilize, or you can utilize the foundation funds for those type projects?
I can't. And I wouldn't want to utilize all of their funds for these projects. There's grant opportunities and partnerships that we can do for maybe an electric company that could sponsor Waveland Ground Zero and have down power lines, talk about electric safety as they're going through the putt-putt. So each hole be very strategic. We're in the process right now of feasibility quotes for that. So it's moving forward. So it's really exciting.
Good.
And And so just a question on, so with the amount that we're currently paying, basically those taxpayers at 160,880, does that all, what percentage of that goes to the wages and salaries of the employees?
So that's a good question. I have our budget proposal for fiscal year 25 in that packet that I sent to you.
Yeah, it's
The percent, it basically goes, the money that you give us goes into a pot that supports Bay St. Louis. And I can give you all, like,
So who's standing up Diamond Head? Because Diamond Head's paying 30,000.
Hancock County.
So Hancock County's paying
Hancock County.
because it's not proportionate, obviously, what the other
No.
cities are, and then of course what their increase is proposed. I think it's at 2%. So there's
No.
not a proportionate ratio there of what. the other
Correct.
cities
So
are doing.
it's, and I have that. I have how each branch is broken down, how it's funded and supported. So Diamond Head isn't open as much as Bay St. Louis is. Diamond Head doesn't have as much staff as Bay St. Louis has. Diamond Head doesn't have as much collections as Bay St. Louis has. Diamond Head does not have the size or space or scope of information and the resources that Bay St. Louis has. So it's I have what you're asking for, and I could send that to all of you, because it basically breaks down the actual budget for each branch.
I guess
because of use.
that's something I would like to see, just because we went through this a couple of years ago, and we are Hancock County also in Bay St. Louis and pay a lot of the
Correct.
taxes
Yeah,
to
they
Hancock
do.
Country. So the 1.2 they give, a lot of that's collected within our city limits already.
Yeah.
And then we give additionally from our taxes again, is why a couple of years ago we went through this and kind of took funding back, 'cause we felt we was paying twice.
That's a good
And
point.
with Diamond Head paying 30,000, and we know it's gotta cost more than that to operate their branch, it's being subsidized somewhere.
Yeah.
And I know the county's subsidizing it, but what part of that subsidizing is coming from Bay St. Louis again? So
Correct. Yeah, that's a good point.
that's kind of been my concern the whole time with the library system, is we got 5 branches.
Well,
And
and
the county giving 1.2 million, it's about 240,000 per branch, if broke it out equal between the 5, you know? Burlington's not gonna be collecting that much probably in their millage value to even put that
Yeah.
much into their library, so that's coming from somebody's funding
It
source,
is.
you know?
I wish the county would just take it and dedicate a certain millage
Millage and do the whole
Take the whole
library.
thing.
across the
Right.
board.
That's what needs to be done, honestly, I feel, you
Run
know,
all
to make
5
it
branches.
fair.
Yeah.
That way, it's all,
Everybody.
everybody in the county's paying the fair share in the same portion at some point, because I've always felt we double paid within the city limits.
Yeah.
You know, and it's nothing against you, it's just,
no,
I think it's great.
I don't
It's
I don't
just-
take it but it's just
Just looking out for the taxpayers is, I don't wanna be subsidizing Diamond Head, they're a nice city too, they should be able to afford theirs, you know?
Yep.
So,
That's a good point. I agree with you on that, John.
and if
and I don't want you to be working for $11 an hour neither, so I'm kinda torn there, but.
Yeah.
And
That's
we've-
a 19 or 20% increase, and we took ours down to 3% this year. I know we're way behind. On
from
the
2012
curve.
to now, we also reduced the amount of staff that we had as well. So
Yeah.
we're like lean as can be,
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and my staff believe in me and they believe in my vision that I have for the library system.
Sounds like you had a good one.
So they're really, and I'm very blessed to have such an amazing staff that work across all of our branches. But I completely agree with you that with the way in which the system is set up just does not make sense. And if I had to do it again, where, okay, John Burdecka, how would you implement a library system for Hancock County? It would not look anything like what we currently have.
And because I've always
So-
felt, because the headquarters is based here, it's a bigger facility, more staff, more this. Is that because we need that, or is that just because default we became the headquarters for the whole system?
Right.
So I've never really been able to understand that completely, I guess, as to, does it need to be that way, or it's been that way forever, so it just stayed that way, you know?
Yeah, it's the library system started, it basically birthed itself up
Yes.
from
Yes.
Bay St. Louis, and then it grew out from there.
And
So.
we learned a lot of that to get trained up. We learn it still today that you get a free money, you build a lot of stuff, and sometimes it's not always good. You gotta maintain it in the future.
Because there's repercussions downstream,
Yeah.
and here we are.
Exactly.
And John, have you met? Well, I know it's pursuant. Each city in the county is pursuant to the increase that's asked is going to go into that particular branch in that area.
Yeah.
But have you met with other municipalities, Waveland, Diamond Head, yet the county to see where their gauge is on assessing this increase?
So I have I've actually gone to the city of Diamond Head every year since I've been here. Because when I looked at it, I said, this isn't right. This is one of your busiest branches, and the city of Diamond Head is not contributing on the levels of Waveland and Bay St. Louis. I want them to contribute on the levels that you all are
You
contributing.
said Dominant is one of the busier branches?
It is. It's you all, and Diamond Head's a close second.
When
And they're operating with much less staff?
Much less staff, and they're
Pretty small building.
it's a small building.
small
It's a
building.
lot of in and out.
Yeah.
It's a lot of elderly that come in to return the book and pick up what they got and whatnot. It's not a lot of sitting on the computers, hand holding to figure out how to use this software because they're applying for jobs and government assistance and VA stuff.
You know, he talked about the Diamond Head branch, getting a grant to build it, whatever and all, you know. And one of the holdups, I think one of the holdups when we talked about this 7 years ago and all was if they named it for Diamond Head, put Diamond Head as a name on it, they would support it.
I don't
You
care,
know.
they can put down that on
Yeah,
them,
right.
with it.
And
support
I
it.
mean, but at the time it was funded, you know, for this
Mhm.
particular thing, and it couldn't be done. So now is the time. I don't know if that time has expired.
It has
I don't know.
the
Go
grant
back.
expired.
Look, there's a contract out there, whatever, and I'll go back, redo it, and bring it back to the table. You know, and you know, look at it and see. You know, I don't think we have to wait till it expires. You know, if we want to make improvements on the contract and all, you know, that's out there. So I don't know.
Most
yeah.
of them had.
But I know that was one of the holdups back then was if you name it Diamond Head, we'll support it.
What is it now? What's the name of it
East
now?
Hancock.
It's East
East
Hancock.
East Hancock.
East Hancock Public
Because it
Library,
was a
which
county grant, so it had to be called something.
and that grant
basically in the
has
county.
now expired.
That's
so-
how it
Grants
was written.
expired.
That's
Yeah.
how it was written for
Yeah,
that.
okay.
And even though it's in Diamond
Right.
Head, whatever back, you know, where.
But it could be renamed now because that grant's expired, so.
Now, whether the
Mike-
feelings are still the same up there, I can't answer
What
that.
Mike's saying is
Well-
rewrite the contract that we have currently with the county and.
Well, now, you know, now Diamond Head's a city, and they weren't then, right? So they could dedicate a mill to it,
Correct.
you know, to the library now, because they were not a city, so there was no way to collect any funds from them at the time.
Yeah.
So now that they are a municipality, they can have a dedicated millage, which would, you know, I don't know what their millage is, but
That's what we have. Waveland has the same
Yes.
dedicated mill, whatever. I don't know what them, you
yeah,
know.
I have no
how
idea what their
much.
value is, but if they could
Yeah.
dedicate millage to
Yeah.
come up, and that's
I
why,
still think the best answer is just let the
County.
county fund it and, you know, and if they did, it would come back to each entity, if they have dedicated
chop
millage
that
to
mill
it,
off.
to reduce that millage, and then, you know, that way you're not double taxing the people.
Right.
You know, that way you would reduce our millage, whatever it is for the 162,000, roughly 1 mil, you know.
Yeah.
So that would have to be reduced on our side, and then the county would go up, you know, if they needed to go up and all for that.
Has that ever been discussed?
Well,
aware?
it's
I mean,
really, this is the first
At a round table?
time
Roundtable discussions?
Yeah, I mean, you
talking in a
know,
meeting like this is,
but,
Yeah, it's definitely something that needs to happen in the next few years. I'm
Yes.
hoping within our the 5-year strategic plan where we get together, the municipalities and the counties with their attorneys and try to hammer out something that actually makes legitimate sense. Because the way it is right now, because the county is saying, well, why are we funding so much of it for everything, and the municipalities aren't? So there's a disconnect between.
but see, and that's the mistake. We are.
it's not the art.
Bay
it's-
St. Louis
We
make
are,
it-
the rest of them.
Bay St. Louis probably makes up 25% of the county's revenue, rather than
Yeah.
Bay St. Louis.
So we
So
support
we're
Keene
paying
Hill,
25% of that
We're
amount
supporting them all.
already. And on top of that, we're paying the extra, whatever it is.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so, you know, the entities are paying their fair share through the county taxes.
The county's getting
Yeah.
off cheaper, the county the unincorporated residents are getting off better
Cheap.
than the
Yeah.
incorporated residents, to be
Absolutely.
honest.
Because
When you
they're
do
not
the
being-
math on the millage and the way the tax system works,
Mm-hmm.
so it's not equally
But I think,
proportioned
you know,
between.
Yeah, so I think John's here today, you know, asking for a 25,360 increase from City of Bay St. Louis. You know, over the years, and so again, data, right? Data can show you, in fiscal year 15, we gave the library $320,440.
Yeah.
This year, we're looking at $159,386, so over a 50% decrease in funding from the library. From 2018, we've decreased their funding by $622,000. From 2018 to date, we have decreased our funding by $622,000.
We being
City of Bay St. Louis.
Funding to what?
Through millage?
Oh, a total,
Yeah.
total.
Yeah,
not
total.
one, Yeah.
Each year, it was 62,018, it was 124,019, 144 in 2020, 140 in 21, 151 in 2022. We've decreased from previous millage.
and some of that was
Or
because the
previous
county
funding.
had paid off a loan or something.
But it paid off the loan when we did the 17 agreement, but this is 18, right? So, yeah, we
We
did,
cut the first year 17-18 budget,
right.
and I think we might have cut some in 19-20, and then the rest has been
Then we went
stable
to-
at
yeah, then went to the-
162,000.
To the other millage.
So,
Yeah, 'cause I
so
think we had-
the amount has not changed since 19. It should still be
Yeah, 19 is
162,000.
168, 20 is 166, 21 is 170, and this year is 159. I don't know where that number, it's on their library sheet.
But I think
think
what
it's
they
at
actually get is at 162,
Okay,
Yeah.
because it's
the full
set at a
Yeah.
set price, not,
Net price,
not a
yeah.
mill.
right,
162.80.
So,
okay,
it might have one mill to it, but that'll be adjusted,
Right.
say 9/10 of a mill. I don't know what that number
yeah,
is.
yeah.
When
No,
we
that
was-
makes sense, I mean,
when
but
we
it's
was-
just,
When we was doing the 300, 60,000, how many
Yeah.
mills were we dedicating?
That's
then?
two.
Back then, probably three and a half mills.
2.5,
Yeah.
probably.
I think when we first took our mill might have been worth $100, so I don't
Yeah.
remember, I don't remember exactly,
one-
120 maybe, so,
Right.
so minimum would have been 3 mills we was doing back then.
Right.
Are you guys paying the insurance on that building?
Oh, we know.
The library,
No, you're not?
No.
Okay.
it's not on our accounts, I've never seen them on our accounts.
Okay.
Unless the county must be,
Somebody is.
yeah,
Yeah.
hope somebody is. But, yes, I am as like y'all are, we get tired, every time I send a prisoner to the jail, I gotta pay extra $20 for them to stay there at night, $25 stay at night, even though I already pay my county taxes. We've, all of us have wondered why we're paying twice for everything, right? To me, for this ask to increase the funding of our library to get the personnel up to, minimum wage, basically, I saw your 2024, 2025 edict about personnel coming up to living wage standards. I looked over that report as well. To me, for a $25,000 increase, I'm okay with moving forward to fund the library and Bay St. Louis personnel to make a living wage, quite honestly, for that. Yes, it's $25,000, and I tell my guys at work, if you watch your pennies, the dollars watch themselves, right? But I think on looking at back in history, it's
John.
asking, and I think worldwide, if we could become harmonized and get so board of supervisors take everything over, we drop our millage, let them fully fund it, we pay taxes to them, and, it's just, and we don't have to worry about whose share, and I think the data from us and Diamond Head, and I think we need to put that on a billboard and say, hey, Bay St. Louis is here and Diamond Head's here, but we're paying 3 times the amount of millage or money from City of Bay St. Louis versus Diamond Head residents paying, because they're the same county as we are, so, how do we make that fair?
And that was every year that I went to Diamond Head to ask for money was for a position because of how busy they are, and the staff are just
Yeah.
all over the place, and
So I know when we did pull back, from the prior funding amounts, it was partially because the library board or the library funds, they had a fairly large reserve, if I remember, a little over $1 million, or something was a lot more than,
I couldn't remember why we changed, quite
'cause
honestly.
we
Well, what is
only
it
had
now?
about 100,000.
That was one of the reasons.
Okay.
We didn't have 10.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
had none. And
Yeah.
so we were trying to build our reserves back
Okay,
up.
I didn't know,
We did
I
have
couldn't remember
some.
why we did, I know
So
we all
where-
did it, but I
where's
We
just,
the
did,
library-
and
Where's
back
the
in,
library system reserves at right now, do you know?
it is, I don't know the exact number, but it's over, I want to say about 600,000.
Is there visibility in what the foundation funds are?
I can't speak on that, but
And I know they can't pay for operational, but I would think there's offsets that can be utilized, that then these taxpayer dollars then can be put towards operations or wages. So there could be an offset there from the foundation.
so I did that the first year. The Library Foundation is paying for all of our digital collection. It's paying for all of our programming. Running a business insurance rates have gone up. Everything's gone up. Our income from our funding authorities has gone down. So I had to strategically use some of those funds to pay our insurance in a roundabout way. And the foundation is literally saving us right now. And they have a lot more money, and they want to make our library system one of the greatest systems in the Southeast. And they're eager to do some of these projects. I mean, putting a mini golf there, we charge $25 for anyone who wants a library card in Hancock County that's not part of, that lives or works in Hancock County. Well, if we have a mini golf there and the tourist finds out about it, there's just something to do. Imagine coming in for the weekend and you see a mini golf thing right there on 90. They're going to want to come in and take a look at it. Well, we can have something come up where it's like, okay, you get a library card for $25, and then if you want to have the add-on mini golf thing, it's $50 per person. So it's going to generate revenue that can help offset costs for our employees to staff that. And at the same time, it promotes the economy around and what's going on with all of everything else. So,
And one quick question too on the strategic plan. I did notice, thought it was interesting. So there's a paragraph in there about trying to eliminate late fees, and I get late fees probably it's minimal. It's probably not. Yeah, you don't make a lot on it, but a late fee is a deterrent to get a book back. So take me to the mindset of that and how that, I look at, is there going to be a loss? Are we looking at, inventory loss because there's no repercussions to even bring a book back?
so we actually have gone through and we are fine free. So if you were to check out a book or a DVD and you don't return it, you get charged for the replacement cost of that item. And then if you don't pay that, your account is blocked. So that
So
you
before you
can't
can rent anything else, you have to pay for a replacement.
a replacement of like quality condition, or pay the fine so that we can go and replace the product, the book or the DVD or whatever it is.
So how's that been working?
It's fine. Yeah.
Kinda
So
like a
when-
red box,
so
you keep
when
it too
we-
long, it charge you.
So when we drew back, you all had about $1 million, give or take, in there, and you all been tapping into your library fund since then. Are you all spending the interest on it also, with your fund?
So we have 4 $100,000 CDs that are staggered that are collecting interest, and then we're just reinvesting all of that. We're not touching that right now. So that money is making money through CDs. But there are a lot of miscellaneous projects that we have funded since I've been here, like installing handicap doors at the Diamond Head branch because they didn't have push buttons and their population is all elderly. Here at the Bay St. Louis branch, the handicap entrance, they didn't even have a handicap push button door. So we installed that. So we were doing miscellaneous things across the system for capital outlay and whatnot.
So,
for our
so right
buildings.
now, you all are still tapping into your, the library fund,
Correct.
using it for your budget?
Correct.
Okay. Do you know how much a year, you all are using?
This past year was the first year that we tapped into our reserves. I want to say 60,000
$60,000.
in projects.
So you said this year is the first year you tapped into it?
Correct.
Okay.
Well, since I've been here.
If you got 600,000, give or take in there, I mean, a moderate rate is 5%, so you're getting 30,000, so you're just reinvesting that 30,000 back in to the fund. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
Okay. But I'm like Councilman Seal. I don't have any problem with, giving them
Small
25,000.
increase, yeah. I mean, again, we watch with our funding, and, 5 years, 8 years of funding Like I said, we've had to increase our personnel budget because of, last 4 or 5 years, every year we've having to give raises just to keep people with a living wage, basically. And then administrative, I think, talked to the county administrator and said they having to do, how he phrased it, it's some kind of living wage increase to keep people, right? Cause the banks are paying $16 an hour and I'm paying
You
$12.
go to McDonald's and they
$13
pay.
an hour, right? So I can't keep, it's gotta be a competitive wage
Yeah.
to keep people, right? So I think we're there. I mean, that's unfortunate, and it's where we are, but, I think.
You know, they did what we asked them to do. They tapped into their fund and, they've been doing it. I know it was a big, uproar around that time, when we cut them, for what has been 4 or 5 years, and they've been tapping into it. They've come down from $1 million to 600, 400,000 of what was there, and so you lose that and you lose the interest on it. So, agree with Councilman Seal that we can find it in our budget.
But yeah,
You
we'd
gonna
like
increase the millage to cover it?
$25,000? No, we'll find
Just gonna
something
make
in the
more
budget.
cuts?
We're getting ready to go through this budget. We'll find $25,000.
I'd rather, I mean, there's no doubt a lot of the good works that you guys are doing, the John programs you're bringing, I'd rather see it more proportional before we just go ahead and do an increase.
Yeah, we won't do that this budget cycle.
But
And I
I'm
think, I was
not-
going to
well,
tell John,
That's fine, but I mean,
tell John, that's what we need to get Diamond Head proportional.
but all the others have been paying their
now-
way.
Yeah, so I can,
Standing
and
them up.
we did I found this while I was looking. I'll send this to you. I'll
I mean,
get
if
you
they just
email.
came up to Waveland, it'd be
But it
100.
had a 2006-23-17, I think we probably got this from the tax office, based on preliminary values reports. Kind of shows down a breakdown the millage, about the assessment of each city by St. Louis. It was from 2016, but I'm sure they can run your current report. And you can use this data to go to Diamond and said, okay, and then there was $89 million or whatever, $89 million in assets, basically. And it shows proportional what their millage value would be and how much they could supply to, fund the library, right? At least get them up to, if they're second in usage, they need to be behind second in paying, right? Behind us, and that would make us, we can collapse some of our funding,
Right.
because of their, they're catching up. So I think my ask for you would be, if we approve this, that you continue to ensure Diamond Head understands their need, now their municipality, to donate more to the library, to fund the library.
Oh, with administrative, with the, Bay St. Louis being the administrative headquarters, is some of that Bay St. Louis, are we paying for that, or is that the county?
It's a county, so
But now it's still Bay St. Louis taxpayers.
yeah, but
It's
it's
same pot of money, right?
Yeah, like I say, if we make up 25% of the funding source for the county, or whatever the number may be today, I don't know right now, so you figure it's funding 5 branches.
Then if we can continue to work on the ultimate plan, getting the county to take over.
That was the numbers back then.
I don't know who need to push that.
yeah, and
That was,
looking at the interlocal agreement to get Diamond Head on board, whether they get Diamond Head on board or the city's out of it and it's 100% funded by the county,
Right.
whatever it needs to be,
that would be a
the
start.
interlocal agreement is something that definitely needs to be looked at so that it makes sense
Do we-
to everybody.
Have we looked at cutting any of the library? I mean,
Closing them.
So, we have 5 branches. I have ideas that we can look at where we consolidate, because Waveland and Bay St. Louis, it's a couple miles apart. Library system.
it's not the horse and buggy days anymore.
No, no.
Mike, I think we did that back when we drew back. I think
They closed the
they closed the library.
They closed, they
Yeah.
cut the days the Waveland Library was
Hours.
open, they closed them.
Maybe the hours, I don't
They
know.
cut the hours back to
Yeah.
1 or 2 days a week.
I don't know what they all open,
Yeah,
you know, who's open what, but.
So if let's say I don't get any funding, the 238,000 I get nothing. So my plan going forward then was to look at the funding that we do receive and strategically look at the hours each branch is open and coming up with a staffing structure that supports that, where I can pay my staff living wages.
Yeah.
And so that means hours would be cut, but strategically, where since Waveland is so close to Bay St. Louis, the two libraries, if one opens late, one opens early, one closes late, one closes early. So it's staggered. So in that vicinity, there's
Something.
library services
Okay.
available to
We
you
talked
from
about
9
that
a.m.
way
to
back
8
about
p.m. But overall, it's the hours are shrinking.
So what happens if you only get to 25,000 from Bay St. Louis?
Our staff's happy and everybody else is.
Yeah.
so did the county not commit to this yet? I mean, you've only talked to,
I'm waiting to hear
Okay.
back from them.
I thought you talked to them already, but,
I presented to them, but I'm waiting to
Okay.
hear from.
Yep. okay.
I wanna see him get raises and stuff to enough to make it. I would almost like to see though, with the input is from the other funding sources possibly. I know we got
Approve the budget and set a public hearing, and then we'd advertise for public hearing.
And
Changes still can be made during that time.
yeah,
You're not advertising the final budget, that
and it's
publication.
still
comes
not
after.
too late for
So,
the county to step up and say, hey, we're gonna increase 1 mil, we decrease an hour, everybody else, it's all in the budget right now, this is the time to do it.
Right.
Will it happen this quick? That I can't answer,
that's.
but it
that's-
is it's being
that's my
talked
other
about,
thought Is,
you know?
you forgot to, I'm willing to do the 25 this year, but next year, probably pull back if we don't have a better system in place with the county or Diamond Head still only putting up 30,000.
Yeah, I agree.
I'll be willing to pull back my funding at that point if Diamond Head don't get on board and we don't go with a county-wide system possibly,
Yeah.
would be my thing. I might not be here next year, but you know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Well, that,
I mean,
I
just for
agree.
the numbers, if you look at it on that page 2 that he handed out for their budget,
Mhm.
the county's contributing 1.2 million. The total local support is 1.646. You're talking about 400 grand, which is probably right under 1 mil at the county, as the mayor indicated.
So,
If they went to one funding source.
so
and you
is
tried to-
this,
Well, and a
the,
part of
the
that is
new
actually
wages in this budget right here
120,000 for
proposed?
gaming.
Yes, so when you,
Mike?
well, it's not, the income is not there, but when you look at that last page, it shows that we're operating at a 238,000 deficit.
Yeah,
So they're trying to make up that 236.
So Mike, part of that, what you just talked about was that 120,000, that's from gaming, so
Yeah.
it's not even
Right.
400,000, it's only roughly 330,000.
it's less than a mil,
Yeah,
Well,
that's
One
my
county
point.
mill.
probably
One
2/3
county-
of a mil.
Of a county mill, yeah.
Yeah, right.
I
So
mean, it
they
just
could go
seems-
up, you know, we can cut ours, Wayland cut theirs, I may keep that 30,000,
like I
whatever,
said,
it is,
always-
20,000.
I don't,
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't see how, by the time this budget has to be approved, and the county's budget and all the cities, you're not gonna have time to really redo a local,
No.
private, interlocal agreement. But I would think that over the next 6 months, set a date for January 1 or something, put a strategic team together from each of the cities and the county to try to work to get to a single funding source.
Yep, that'd be great.
And the city's realizing though, hey, wait, we're cutting 162 and that's gonna end up on a county tax, and we would have to
Right,
reduce the millage by that amount on our end, so we're not double taxing our residents.
That's right.
So,
right.
that would be, I think, something the county would probably be looking at, cause I think that would hurt people.
But I mean, that's what the county
That's-
says, if we're gonna raise a mill, you need to drop a mill, we need to commit to say, hey, yeah, that's our intention, right? But then there's one funding source for the Hancock County Library System, not the
And-
Bay St. Louis Library System.
And it's not affecting our budget, because it's just a pass-through.
Yeah.
So it's not affecting our real budget at the end of the day.
No,
The money comes in and goes out.
comes in,
So we just net zero anyway if we
Correct.
drop that.
instead of 100,
Mhm.
7.5. But,
But
to
I
me,
mean, maybe we can take steps or whatever, maybe it's a resolution to the county and the other cities that say, hey, we'd like to, look at this strategically together to go to a single funding source and try to get everybody on the same page. 'Cause I think it would make your life easier.
It would make my life a lot easier.
Guarantee.
I'm having this
And
conversation.
for the same
multiple
reasons,
times.
we're looking at it
It's
going,
easy
well,
to-
Diamond Head's only paying this, but we're not paying, we're paying,
They would love it.
we're carrying more weight or whatever.
Yeah,
You know, you eliminate all that,
I like your idea about setting a date,
you know?
having a strategic group
Yeah.
come together.
But
and
maybe
John,
it's one
discuss
of the
the
members of
future.
council, somebody from Basin, Waveland, Diamond Head, and county, and
So if we
powwow.
commit to the funding request tonight that you're looking for, would you commit to driving that bus to get that?
Yeah.
That date set and that meeting set, get everybody to the table?
I think it'd be awesome,
I mean, I think that's the only way anything's gonna change.
right? Yeah, yeah, we do a lot of talking, sometimes we don't follow up a lot,
Exactly.
Right.
And
we're all guilty.
If you set it for like a January, you know,
Yeah.
that gives
Gives
all the
time.
cities and counties, as you enter your next budget, so FY '26, that you know that's a given, so you know how to plan for that. You know, so what your mill's gonna do compared to what the county's gotta do, and it just gives y'all going into 2026 a better planning. And same for you.
Beautiful. I'm good with that.
All right,
I wouldn't try and do it in August.
yeah, it's hard, huh? All right, any more questions?
It's first
We're all
day
in
off,
alignment.
man. We
We'll
got a lot of time.
figure out how to shave something or figure something out. Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Next thing, budget workshop. I think we've stopped on page 19. Is that right? I mean,
Yep, changes were made, whatever we needed on
Yep.
page 1 through 18.
Yep.
So nothing has changed there, filing into that last powwow a couple weeks, last week.
Yep.
18.
page 18
Nine.
transfers in and out. 19's capital lease. Really nothing there. I mean, a lot of these are pass-through funds,
Yeah,
lease funds. I don't, actually went through, didn't have a whole lot of questions on each. How do y'all wanna go through each page? Does everybody look through these pages to understand the questions?
what was that? I'm sorry.
I just ask everybody if they went through and if they have any questions.
You know, on the lease, you know, we, again, looking for vehicles, this, that, and everything. Public
Yes,
Works
we-
looking
we
for
almost
equipment.
half $1,000,000 a year in vehicle payments.
Yeah.
I don't know in the past if we've, where we've been, but seems like a high number. But, we got fire trucks, 2 fire trucks and backhoes and ditches, so we got a lot of equipment. Just seemed like a big number,
We
466.
lost the ladder truck on this year's,
Yes, I saw that.
that was the final.
Last payment.
And the sweeper, I think, is through,
Okay,
which, hate to say it,
it's broke.
we probably need to look at something new.
They've been trying to get a new one. Well,
Yeah.
trying to fix that one. It was outrageous
Yeah.
to fix it.
And, I mean, it's running, it's got a couple minor little things, $200, they, heading over to fix it, but, just maybe time to look at something.
Yeah.
Fire truck, hopefully we can hold off a couple more years on that, before we hit another big purchase with that.
Yep.
But we do, so,
The sweeper didn't last long, did it?
huh?
Didn't last long, did it?
Operationally, it's
And,
it's a unique
wish
piece
we'd
of
have stuck with our
equipment
first decision on that,
Mm. Different
Um,
brand, you mean?
huh?
Brand wise, you mean, or?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least they come out and fix things here, and
Yeah.
And I
We've
think we
had
need to go
very
back
good-
and look at the drawing board, what it costs us to contract some of that out, like do the grass cut, I mean, we
Right.
buy a truck that lasts 5
Well, they
years for $100-something-thousand, a driver, insurance, fuel,
Oh, yeah.
what's it cost to have a contract come in and do it after the parades and after
Right.
the weekend,
Well, yeah,
you know?
but the thing about it, when it's up and running, it gets used
A lot.
almost every day.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things, we don't have in here, and we know it's coming up, not sure what, we're in the process of talking to them, is try to extend our grass cutting.
24.
We have an option to go out, but, it's not we're gonna look at it, probably an increase from that some, there's been no increase in it for 4 years, I think it's been. It's been the original price, no cost of living or anything associated with that fixed in. So we're all looking at an increase in our grass for next year that we're gonna be able to come up with. We'll be able to fund that with the cash carryover from this year that we don't spend in that account, but again, gotta sit down with them and just see and bring the proposal back to the table and go from there.
Gotta be cost him more to operate also.
Huh?
Gotta be cost him more to operate also.
Well, you know, if you think about when he did this, gas was $1.86 a gallon, $1.90, and it went to $3 and $4 a gallon that same year after he got the
Yep.
contract.
He took a beating that first one.
He took a beating, and you know, price of everything now is up, so he's taking even a worse beating because of everything up in price,
Everything.
and he's been good about it.
Yeah.
You know,
So our sweeper truck is down right now?
yeah, just a short period of time, it's just down. I forgot what the repair is.
And how much will it cost to repair it?
$200, I think.
What?
$200, I think. It's nothing major. This time.
Did you say a couple $100,000?
No, dollars.
Okay.
Probably less than $1,000.
I thought you were just kidding over there, a couple $100,000.
No, no. Then we would definitely be out.
Oh, yeah, they paid that much for
But
it.
again,
Right.
the price of a new one is well over 2, probably.
Oh, I'm sure it was doubled.
Yeah.
All right,
Alright.
page 22 is capital lease, police car lease payments. 23 is capital lease fund for the fire department, fire truck payment. Streets and public works, vehicle purchase, capital expenses. Parks and playground, parks and property, capital expense, 45,000. Down to municipal reserve fund. We have nothing requested.
So if you remember the change there with the audit, your municipal reserve can't be used for projects.
Yeah.
So we have to move the money out of municipal reserve and put it into a projects fund. And so you have a capital projects fund.
Can't budget out the
So you can't-
reserve fund.
Yeah, it's meant to be a savings account.
Okay.
And it's the only thing you should really see out of there is money going in for savings, which you see a $200,000 increase, which is budgeted. And then money flowing out, budgeted for the capital.
Okay.
And that would only be done as needed. Because, if you look at all the projects and several under capital projects, not all of those will go next year.
Right.
So, but we put them in there so you see them, it's there.
All right, page 27, building maintenance, out of reserve fund, a lot of depot improvements. 28, municipal reserve for police, nothing. Streets and public works, expenders, nothing. Municipal reserve, this is all the transfers that would come out. Page 28, 29. 30, 0. Again, another projects list, no municipal reserve funds coming out. So at the bottom, you see the transfer out to capital project 622. Ending cash balance is 453. Municipal reserve special revenues, nothing in.
Again, that was the count for
That
the
was the
police station.
police
That's
station, right.
basically done.
0.6 million.
This isn't a,
Next one, again, municipal reserve special, out. Complete. Emergency fund revenues, this is our $1 million special reserve fund, right?
Yes.
it's built, that's that contingency we all wanted to set up about a year.
Again, million
So
in
go
balance
whenever.
is $1 million,
We've got $1 million in it so
Yep.
far.
$12,000 in interest, I guess. Emergency fund transfers out, ending cash balance, $1,012,973. Narcotics task force, nothing, no income for that this year, I mean,
What's that, task force?
narcotics task force revenues. I guess, I mean, we don't,
Projected.
can't bank on getting anything, right? But we didn't get
No,
anything.
this isn't the DOJ account.
Okay, all right,
This is that one that's been lingering around. I think it had a few $1,000s in it, and
$5,000 we spent.
I
okay,
think
We
that,
closed it.
yeah,
We tried to-
Closed.
went to
we tried to
DOJ.
spend it and get it out.
okay,
Yeah, this
Cool.
is
That was
a,
last
different
year.
one, all right,
I wouldn't say it, I guess you could call it a debt account.
yeah, okay. Library fund revenues, again, we projected 162,880.
Where do y'all wanna find that money?
We can go back and,
So we take it half from the, building zone department guy and, half from the harbor master guy.
Well, they actually cut somebody in that department to cover their raises, along with public works. Sometimes you gotta make cuts
Just
to
kidding,
cover
Jeremy,
raises.
just kidding, just kidding.
You know, that's one of the things, you know.
fire quarter mill fund revenues, that's in and out for fire department equipment. Shows where it's projected to be spent, uniforms, firefighting, promotional outreach material, training classes, repair equipment. Page 43,
Hey, a
fire,
quick update on that there, the chiller came in today.
Oh, did it
and
finally?
It's up on the pedestal, so,
cool.
you know,
How much longer on getting that completed? Any idea?
we hope in weeks,
Weeks? That'd be
well,
nice.
we hope.
Again, page 43, fire insurance rebate, again, revenues. And then the next page will, building fire insurance rebate, building department expenditures, code books. Page 45, is total $50,000, which we assume we're gonna get from the, collection of that. And transfers out.
And that goes to pay a debt service.
Pay cert, yep. That's for the bottles. CGB revenue fund zeros across the board. Page 47. Page 48, zeros. 49 is some of our federal grants, revenues we're looking at for outer road projects, different projects. With grant proceeds.
So you'll notice that we did add, because we're projecting that that money will flow through the city and out through the city, so we just put
Okay.
500 in,
Put that in there.
500 out through that federal
Awesome.
grants fund,
Thank you.
just to plan, because we don't
Yeah.
know what's gonna happen.
10-4, thank you.
And your Ida roads, that's your FEMA project,
Right.
which is done through general fund kind of thing, but, and the harbor is done through that fund
Okay.
for FEMA.
Another page.
50?
Yeah, page 50, 50 is just SWIFT grant.
Yep.
Page 51, federal grants, police department disaster. But that's for, I guess, nothing budget this year. Page 53, federal grants, this is.
The only thing I would call out on page 49, you'll see 175.
Yep.
Is your transfer in from road and bridge.
Right.
And that's your local match, 5% for the FEMA project.
Okay,
And then using, again, the road and bridge funds for that road project.
okay.
So we don't have to use general fund cash. Sorry.
Page 53 shows the capital outlay for the, outer roads, mainly citywide drainage. ARPA revenues.
Hey, going back on that, on the Ida road repair, that 3.5, what, that's, then we got the citywide drainage, there's nothing.
Because that's in a different fund.
Yeah.
It's not in the federal projects.
Citywide drainage, ARPA funds, huh? That's some of the ARPA
No.
funds, or that's
Yes,
ARPA's all your sewer
oh,
stuff.
sewer, okay.
it's in here.
So what are the 3.5 on the road repairs?
Yes.
3.5 is the Ida road,
Yeah.
Yeah,
the
that
bid
was
that
one
came in.
Now, ARPA, it is used for sewer,
That's
can
your
it be used
sewer.
for drainage
Page
also?
49.
For us,
revenue.
it's strictly
This is
sewer.
committed to lining the sewer lines.
Okay, all about ARPA money.
And we need about 4 more million still, don't we?
Correct.
For the 12
Yeah,
million total,
yeah.
if we did the,
This is,
yeah,
8.1, something like 8.4, I don't know
Yeah.
what it's got. Total estimate, we'll know more when we get the prices and all, we'll do the actual line in phase 2, 3. I get lost on these figures. Yeah. We'll know more how much, but we're thinking another $4 million if we, you know.
But when ARPA was originally set up, it was set up in the 100 accounts, the 121, and that's why you kind of see it back to 21, 22. You see a number 1.7 million, And then going forward, it's all zeros, cause that's part of that audit process that said, hey, this is a utility project, it needs to be under the utility funds, not general fund dollars.
Okay.
So you won't see any activity budgeted for that fund.
All right, page 57, 58 cap grants. Really nothing
So that's your CapEx grant, so
for,
legislative session last, not this past spring, but the one before, they threw in $250,000 for Bay St. Louis for infrastructure projects. So that hasn't been decided, so it's just sitting there in a separate fund. We had to open up a separate checkbook, had to open up a separate fund. But, so that's where that project is, but it hasn't been determined, so I think we just kind of put it as a capital expense, so whatever y'all decide is that project.
all right,
And-
Public
excuse me.
Works,
And that 250, what could it be used for again?
It's infrastructure, so drainage, roads, water, sewer. I mean, those are what's categorized. Can't use it for city hall building, we asked, can't build a pickleball court where that, we asked. But it has to be infrastructure.
Yep.
So since we have so much going to, ARPA, all of the 100% was pushed towards your utilities. So
Trying to
we
put
left it in
together-
the 100 accounts
Yeah,
in
trying
the
to
general
look
fund
at,
in case y'all wanna do a drainage or something like that.
there's
roads.
a couple projects out on the water out there, we're looking at probably maybe trying to use it out there, on some projects. Soon as we can get something put together, we'll bring that back, and
page 59, showing that money, Public Works.
Yeah.
yes.
Authorization use tax, page 60. Again,
So Kyle, here's some, that NCRS main drain is where this part of it is showing.
First thing you'll see is 533,000 is the budget for new revenue.
Yeah.
In the next fiscal year.
Okay.
Okay, that's the portion that's going to the general fund. We kind of have it set, 75% goes to general fund and 25% to the utility side.
Okay.
So we've got, you see two modernization. If you look at my spreadsheet, you got two columns, one for your utilities and one for general.
Okay.
Just to let you know.
Alright.
We try to do with the projects is to put them in funds, that have cash, but also trying to use any of those funds for local matches, so we're not using general funds or reserves.
And just when it comes to utilities and like the $8 million ARPA and 25% of this, all that money does not benefit my residents any, because they pay a separate water and sewer district.
Correct.
So when we put money into the system, that's grant money for $8 or $12 million, and it keeps the rates reduced because we didn't have to borrow it to do it. Folks in my
Right.
ward don't get any cut of
They're
that
different,
really.
yeah.
They're not affected by it, so if we
Doesn't
could use
affect
that
taxes or
250 or something to give them a little
Right. No, that makes sense.
something,
And-
it's only fair, I
Oh, yeah.
feel, to do that.
Some people look and we still got, I don't know, maybe $1 million or something built up, in the, road and bridge and all. But again, some of that is for matches, like this main drain cleanage and things like that, that would affect that area, 5, 6 more so than anywhere else, There's also one in here for, I guess your local drainage as well. I'm not sure where that one's at, but another one through them, that one might be through FEMA, huh?
Which one is it?
The other drainage project. One was at
You talking about hazard mitigation?
yeah, hazard mitigation on that one. So, there's some opportunities, that, yes, we've taken that and spent on our utilities now, cause, without increasing $12 million worth of bond and all. But we also need to remember with this other money we have available to catch some projects out there in 5 and 6 as well, And one thing we're looking at, there's a little section off of Washington that needs tying in, and it would tie in to the utility authority, to their authority out there. And try to help them maybe if there's a possible way, and I don't know if it can be or not, try to help them to tie that in so everybody out there has what's needed, water and everything. So,
Pretty much from Washington and Chapman, Tomos, the powerhouse is no water. The water
Yeah,
stops
yeah.
at in front of the powerhouse from the city of Bay
Yeah.
St. Louis and
From Ms.
stops
Byers,
on-
right
you
there
got
by
that
Ms.
stretch with
Byers
no
and all,
water.
and them in that area to that. It's not a whole lot, but it's a little distance but it's an opportunity, we can maybe help them as well move forward with that, so. Working on that through the utility authority.
You got about 20 residents with 2 water towers in the backyard and no city water.
So you can't get a drop, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, literally.
You do.
Yeah, it's true.
Closer than anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Have good pressure when
I
they
hadn't
get
thought
tied
of
in,
it
huh?
that way, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're close ones to the 2
So
water
can-
towers.
can
and
we-
no water.
So is that their certificated area?
Yes.
I think up to the, is that Edwards Bayou that cuts across the
Up to the bridge.
Up to
Okay.
the bridge, and then City of Bay St. Louis is the other side of it.
So we can
Yeah.
fund, I mean, we can, if
So-
we can, they can give us dispensation to go in and run and tie them into our system and
That's
put
what we
meters in
checked
for us.
on. That's what we're trying to
They
check.
abandon that section or something, whatever, how the hell, whatever they'd have to
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
Okay.
That would be the way to go.
Yeah. All right, page 61, this is the Public Works expenditures. What we're looking at, downtown striping, ADA transition study, Sienna Drive, that's the drainage project, and NCRS main drain clean out. The big hitters on there. Nothing on page 62.
On,
What you got?
without looking, I'm sorry. Did we put anything here for canal dredge and plan? or
Yes,
study?
There is, I
$70,000.
think it is 75 or 50 or
The
75.
70,000, because I made a note when
Yeah.
we're gonna start that, right?
Yeah.
Or I know we did sampling for dredging,
Well,
so
what
the
did it,
70,000
So
is
it's
for.
about-
yeah, but did it match? Can it proceed?
Well,
I mean, that's
I
what
put myself a note, because I don't remember what it was for.
that was for the area over by Diamond Head to see if that was
This,
there.
this is for the area off Blue Meadow, Wolf Fiber.
Yeah, but they were,
Good Hope, and back around.
but they're doing the sediment testing.
Mhm.
Yeah, the 75,000 is strictly to go in and find the depths, what do they call it?
Sonar. that depth
Sonar,
and stuff,
basically,
yeah.
and then
Okay.
testing to see the quality of the sediment. Can it be used for a beneficial use site such as kind of that past Christian?
Has that not been done yet?
We did that already.
That's
Yeah.
what they're doing now.
That's the 70,000.
Mm-hmm.
Already paid for that. I thought we was waiting for the results to come back so we could start dredging.
I thought he did
Yeah, so-
something, yeah.
From the dredging part, the idea is to try to get restore funds to be used,
Okay.
like they're doing in Diamond Head for Paradise. All the canals on the south side are being used, and they're taking that to that use site.
But we should have results.
Yeah,
We
we've
should have
already.
results of that. I think Jason did that a while
And,
back.
we'll have to ask Jason.
Yeah,
exactly.
now survey phase 1, 70,000.
He might have submitted it. I just don't know off the top of my head.
Yeah, year-to-date
Yeah.
actual.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was for the Wolf River restoration project, see if it was.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah,
by the Wolf River.
I think when they did ours, they wasn't in need of it,
Okay.
because they had everything coming from Diamond Head over there, and plus other spots and all, so. We was trying to help them, get them to help fund it,
Yeah.
so.
All right.
Main thing is develop a plan in case a storm comes.
Well,
and
once
got
we start digging the
something
ditch and start cleaning something out, we have a plan in place. I mean.
Wait, how much is
remember-
that? So they didn't match, but how much did that cost us?
I'm sorry.
It didn't match, the testing didn't match, the samples didn't match?
Well, they didn't need the settlement.
No, they didn't need the settlement, because they got plenty coming from Diamond Head and elsewhere.
Okay, but what did we pay on that yet? What was that?
Yeah,
for
we
that
did
test?
that on a different,
Thought that was that
En-
25,000 a year
engineering
ago or so, or
study
something.
or-
We did. I don't remember
Yeah,
what
I
it
had to-
was. I think he tested, like, say, all.
Get him to touch on that Tuesday night.
all right, page 63, transfers out, moderate use tax paying, transfers out of bonds, payments. 64, same ins and out transfers. 65, showing where the ladder truck's last payment is 63,095 this year. Whoop, 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 whoop. Yep. And, so we got a New Holland tractor down. We pay $42,000 a year payment for a New Holland tractor. Is that a new tractor?
$200-something tractor.
Huh?
It's a $200-something tractor.
I'm like, I thought that's what it was. I'm
That's the
like,
big arm that they do, with
Okay.
the big blue one that we got.
Yep.
With the main drains, keeping them up.
okay. Well, that's what I said. I said, is this an annual payment? I thought it was one of the big super.
I think it was probably 5 years, somewhere in that
Yep,
neighborhood. I don't
that's-
remember,
yeah,
5,
40
6 at the most. but it's-
42,000.
Yeah, it's a chunk of money.
Okay. That's on 65. On 66, really the big one was the tractor, the chassis, 2016 fire truck. Fire truck. 67, nothing. 68, transfers, debt service. 69, general bond revenues. This is where we're putting the money from the general fund into this to pay the bond. I think the next few are the bond debt services, payments to generate the fund to pay those bonds. 72 is the
2020, I don't know what.
same transfer,
I think that 140
ins and outs.
is a mill.
73 is a debt service account. 75 is debt service, road and bridge bond, road and bridge bond, pay that note. 77 DOJ revenues, this is what we thought, I thought this was what we had last time, but $4,179 year to date,
What page is that, Doug?
77. It don't cost us nothing to be part of the HIDA program, does it? I mean, 'cause
An officer.
an officer, we have gotten, I don't know what we've gotten out of it.
Well, we talking about this and as we sitting here now.
I know, we've been part of this, and I don't, City of Bay St. Louis has not
It kinda takes one of our patrol slots, actually, doesn't it?
generated any revenue.
Yeah,
to-
retain
That's
benefit from.
one of the exact conversations
They,
we've been having.
we
I mean,
furnished
We have not.
their
On
salary.
the grounds, we
I
need
mean, they furnished a truck.
They
a very
furnished the
big-
overtime, up to $20,000 overtime, I think it is in the truck.
a new truck,
Yeah, but yeah, I don't,
but I don't think we're winning in this situation.
No.
You know,
We've been after this
one
for
of the
4
things
years.
we talk about is
45.
Yeah.
the county, we got a guy with the county and everything and all, but the county also has people with DEA. So I feel like that if anything's ever needed, then they're there to reach out along with our guy on the county task force
Right.
as well, you know.
And my thought is, if it's a big enough drug bust or drug problem, they're gonna come in and wanna do it anyway. You know, I
Right.
mean, they're gonna wanna be able to get
And
their
a
ass
lot of it,
after
you know,
what they do.
it's, talking with them and everything, it's, even though it's not done here, it still probably affects here, cause it's, whether it's here, Gulfport, Biloxi, Long Beach, wherever it's happening at, they're gonna end up here, some of it anyway. You know, it's like the big one they made a few weeks ago back here at,
Right. Alcan.
off Central back
Yep.
there and all, and, I mean, that was huge.
You ain't gonna see nothing out of it, cause they ain't gonna sell it and generate, and to divvy up the money.
See, and that's the difference between state and federal. They changed the laws about confiscating. It's my understanding now, state has to prove that they spent this drug money or whatever money, illegal money, on their possessions. Used to be the other way around. They had to prove they didn't.
Right.
So it's harder for the state. Federal is still that way. That's why you see more seizures of property and this and that through the federal side than you do on the state side. So the state gets what they get,
Right.
and sometimes they don't take that, extra to try to get that. And it's hard to do.
And I
you
know it's a position that gives somebody else I don't know what word to use, just
A training opportunity, maybe.
a better opportunity than just being a patrol person, I
Yeah.
guess, so, but at the end of the day, I don't know that's benefiting the citizens of Bay St. Louis, and that's my job, is to
Right.
represent and protect them, not one employee that don't really wanna be a patrol person, but I'll take this position to work for you. We need
Yeah.
people that wants to do patrol. That's
Right.
just being cut and dry.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
And I, besides your Gulfport and your Biloxi, maybe Ocean Springs, Long Beach, your small cities, that's the problem they do have is advancement and everything.
Yeah.
The opportunities. It's like, the sheriff's department has a lot of opportunities there to move up in ranks and this and that and everything in different positions and all. Whereas, a lot of these smaller entities are just patrol and there's opportunities, CID and different things and all.
and not picking on the sheriff's department, just being factual in numbers. They patrol Diamond Head for nothing for years. Now they're saying they get paid to patrol Diamond Head and get paid for them patrol people, so the sheriff's department's budget, between annexation of Ward 6 and 5 and Diamond Head being a city, their budget's still here. and they got less they gotta actually do themselves.
But they do,
So they,
I'll send you a
they do
report that
lot.
we got, you know, for, they're in our city.
Oh, I know they are,
You know.
and I'm not saying they're not.
Right,
I'm just saying
yeah.
that over years and through
Right.
different opportunities, they've been able to grow a bigger department because they haven't had to concentrate solely on.
Well, I mean, they
you
took
know,
over the schools, you know, that,
Yeah.
the resource for the, you know, officers for the schools, that's, you know, that was a day position that you could work your way into, whether it's one, two of them, you know, when we had the school resource officer, you know, for the
Right.
Bay Waveland area, but the county came in, you know, and made them an offer and just good, you know.
Oh, they're a good partner.
Cool.
And again, like I
Yeah.
said earlier about the library, we pay them for that too, though.
Mhm.
We're
Yeah.
paying for it.
Right.
I mean, through taxes, through accounting. So,
Right.
Twice.
Yeah, I mean,
I appreciate them, but we
I
still.
mean,
want them
obviously,
to-
though,
Yeah.
if you look back 5, 7 years, what's the revenue that's been
Oh, it's nothing. Yeah,
come
no
into the
revenue.
city,
Mhm.
you know, at the same, except for some overtime and
in-
some
in our
vehicle
seven-
reimbursement, but you're paying a full salary.
Right.
So is it in your best interest
I want
for that
cut it.
money
We're
to
paying
be
$60,000 a year.
over, out of town,
What we're
or
paying.
It's probably,
have a patrol guy on the streets?
$75,000 position.
Yeah, by the time you pay benefits and
Salary.
everything.
Yeah.
I
don't
Yeah,
think
we
you get
put
a
up
big payday.
75,000 to get
But-
4,000.
But
in
in the
return.
last,
Bad
since we
investment.
took over,
Yeah.
in our 7 years, say, whatever we've been here, 7 years,
Sounds
Oh.
like my investment strategy.
we've taken in less than 1 year salary.
Retirement.
That's
What
part
we've
of it.
gotten, less than 1 year salary in 7 years.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm for nixing it, that's my opinion.
but now,
So I waited 4 years to find out.
Yeah, we need to look into getting
I'll
out of
send out
that.
information, what we
Yep.
got, Sissy and them put it together, Dane and them,
Yeah, let's
some
look at,
information on that and all.
get a resolution and abandon if we get out of it. But that, we're paying for that person anyway, it's not gonna change our budget.
Good
No.
thing.
It
Right.
would just put somebody back.
no, it just keeps
Working
a-
on all streets.
Yeah.
a car on your street.
Yep.
That's,
Yep.
At the end
that's
of
what
the
I
day.
want. That's just
Yeah.
my opinion, though.
I agree, 100%. All right, page 78, let me look at that. 79's transfers, DOJ money. 80's, capital projects funds,
Again, this
revenues.
is the kind of projects that used to be all shoved up under that municipal reserve fund, so we've had to move them out into this fund. So this is where the projects you'll see, Gulf Coast Restoration Fund type of stuff, that's money coming in, and you'll see the money going out for those types of projects.
Mhm.
The 150 for the boat launch that we
Right.
got from, was it Mississippi Outdoors is through there.
That's
Awesome.
kayak launch or something.
Yeah,
Basically right off.
right there.
All right, page 80, page 82, again, projects, project fund sheets.
And on the first one up there, the Amtrak, Mobile did approve there,
They finally did.
so. Not gonna say this fall, I'm not gonna say next year, but
They
it
did
should
approve
be
it.
moving forward.
I'd like to see what they gave them,
Oh,
cause they wasn't, they did the numbers too.
Yeah.
There's zero economic impact for the city of Mobile to have Amtrak coming to them. It's like City of Bay St. Louis.
black.
And the
man.
depot district's coming along pretty well with that. I mean, I hate to say it, I mean, not that we did in buildings and all
No,
that stuff,
yeah,
it's
it's
coming
nice.
along.
You know,
Yeah, I mean, our
And-
depot district
And
is
one of the
wonderful.
main things is who's gonna fund this in the future.
Yeah,
Mhm.
no,
Yeah.
it's a boondoggle.
Yeah.
So they don't like that.
But, so we should see,
Facts are
hopefully we
facts.
see that moving forward in
Yeah.
our lifetime.
23rd might have Amtrak.
Yeah. Page 83,
I got
capital
faith
projects,
now that
police.
Mobile signed it.
Yeah. 273, Mike, on that was this year's.
Which
finish.
one?
Page 83, capital projects to police,
Yes,
273, that was this
That's
year's,
dealing with police.
finishing
Yeah.
up.
finishing.
Okay.
And we're still waiting, I think, on like $100,000. They've, if you'll notice on this, agenda coming up, you'll have 3 new grant agreements, the amended and third amendment type of thing for Gulf Coast Restoration Fund. One of them is the police building, so once that's signed and everything, we can have that reimbursement sent to us, like
Okay.
100,000 that's still outstanding.
Page 85 is the canal survey we was asking about. Let's see what we're doing here. Time frame.
I got a note for Jason on,
Yeah, just,
Tuesday night to address that.
yeah, okay. It's just, if we're started, like, we've been saying, I think
Yeah.
Amy even said, hey, if you got a plan in place and you're doing something, we'll help you out
Yeah.
at the end of the day, but we keep
I think
pushing,
that's why we did it, cause they said if you got a plan in place,
we keep pushing the rope and
if
we ain't,
something happens,
we ain't did nothing in,
You know, we've had a few
Would be a
storms that
few
probably
years.
qualified us for it.
yeah.
we'd be eligible for
Yep.
it.
Yeah.
Next capital projects, boat launch, city park improvements, ADA improvements. Geo bond revenues, 87.
This is what's left in that, that bond y'all did.
Yep.
And you'll see the fire repairs on page 88 and the pickleball courts.
Okay.
And that basically finishes that fund.
All right,
Those HVAC repairs, man.
yeah.
Oh, God.
That
Page
hurt.
90, transfers out, finishing up that. Page 91, just the harbor repairs FEMA grant, dredging reimbursements, really the
I
harbor.
think
one,
I think
$1.8 million.
Jason will probably touch that Tuesday night. I think we finally got approved
Praise the Lord.
for the dredging
Good.
permit, you know, so
Well, are we about to put that over across the way, or?
that's the intent.
Okay.
Yeah.
They are gonna take that material.
No, it's going to the beach on the south side of the harbor.
Okay.
This is dredging the
We're gonna
harbor.
add to our beach?
Yeah,
Oh, good.
what
This is
county?
sand,
The
oh,
county
just
has to
sand?
do a
County.
Sand, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, sand,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I didn't know what.
No, yeah, this is going right on the
Okay,
outside.
let's pump out, okay.
And
cool.
hopefully that's gonna keep the cost down. you
Yeah.
know, For this.
Okay, I thought it was spoiled.
I tried to
Had-
get them to make
they
a,
Having to move it.
Broken Bottle Island out there.
Yeah.
That's what the name of it is, whatever. And out in front of Ullman down there.
93,
Did it in-
Low
Um,
tide
yeah.
is broken Bottle Island
Yep.
already.
again, this is the expenditures for the Zeta repairs, dredging. Page 94, more to harbor bond, $1.8 million bond, county road and bridge, kind of showing the outs. Requested budget for the revenues and expenses.
So on that, you'll see a lot of your sidewalk projects, road projects,
Yeah.
603. Those are kind of all your MDOT monies.
Right.
And again, we're trying to use road and bridge as our local matches. Basically, it's a 20% local match.
Yeah.
But we're not using general fund dollars for that. We're keeping that for us.
On that, we should be moving forward with Washington and,
Buyer.
Right.
Buyer.
Yep.
I
We're
think
gonna start
do
on Washington Street.
Washington first, get it out of the way, and then start on Buyer. I think we're looking at probably next, what we're looking at, starting,
Like 30 days or so. for-
yeah, probably next 30 days, starting
Washington.
that. And they figured in the next, by October, so maybe end of October, we should be on Buyer.
Yeah.
Only 15
Yeah,
years.
yeah, we just gotta watch our project money, right? I mean, it's a timing thing.
It's-
A lot of money, and I like them sidewalks for Felicity and all that. That's a push-out project to 26 or whenever we have funding, right? That's,
Yeah, probably, you know, we did link all our sidewalks together that's left and all, you know, trying to break out Pine Street and
right, ranch
Ranch.
Felicity.
and that would finish that whole loop over there
Yeah.
By the
around the
school.
school
But
and
it's just-
everything.
It's just something.
Pine is a street that
It-
really needs,
It's a nicety, it's not a necessity. I know we got a lot of stuff.
Pine is a street that really needs to be
Right.
paved, and I won't go no further with that, but it should have been done.
And we've already communicated with the school to give them a heads up. So we're looking at their football schedule, their bell schedule, so the contractor will have all that, because you probably will see Buyer, when they're under construction, you'll see parts of that closed. Not,
Right.
yeah, Buyer, for a little
Yeah,
bit,
it's gonna
like
have to
pieces
be
of it at a time, for
small
the
as
work
it
they're
is.
doing.
Once they do it over the summer, but that's only about a month long now.
I know, right?
Huh?
I wish they'd do it over the summer break. That's only about a month long nowadays, it looks like.
It's getting shorter and shorter.
Yeah.
Yeah, page 96,
yeah.
again, more capital expense outlays, that's where they're going to.
Again, just
Transfers.
want to, you know, we're showing every project that we have.
Right.
That we have funding for in there. Doesn't mean it's gonna be under construction in FY '25.
Yeah,
But
that's,
wanted to see it, to obviously cash flow things,
yes,
where the cash is coming from for the local match, that kind of stuff.
um,
But it will definitely be a timing issue.
97 is transferred out. 98,
Utilities.
Yeah, utilities. All right, y'all wanna drive from here, y'all, or y'all wanna,
Alright,
any things?
utilities, we're not looking at a rate increase this year, but we have one just from increase of, you know, housing and everything. Also, we think with some of the new meters and everything, it's gonna help us as well. And if you go through,
Didn't we do it last year or a couple months back?
we did a big one last year.
When USM came out?
And we think, and one of the things, this can be adjusted anytime, cause I think we're good if we see it, but we really wanna get through the entire year and see what what we did get from the raises last year and see if that's enough to cover this year. We talked about going up to 3% and all, and if we really need to do it, for the cost of everything, then we're okay to do that.
The biggest thing is supplies have went up a lot in utilities.
Yeah.
Also, pipes high, fittings are high.
And one of the things,
I don't wanna get behind like we was before.
No. nope. So, but if you look at it, you can see a small increase in revenues coming in on everything. On page 1, that's all our revenues. If you look at page 2, we do have the increases in here, and one of the payroll positions, we've seen a good jump in a position. But if you look at the first item on the contractual services, we want to take that over
Why do we wanna take that over?
because we think we can do a better job when it comes down to it. We have the people to do it, and it's something that they've asked for. Ronnie feels very comfortable with it.
I don't think from an economic standpoint,
We're not increasing except for a raise
We're-
for that.
we're hiring a person,
We're hiring
and we're
going
moving,
from a part-time to a full-time.
and we're moving 2 people to do this,
No, we're not moving 2 people.
to read meters. Who's gonna read the meters?
We already got 2 readers. That's in here that does repairs.
That does repairs, right? But
So they're gonna be doing that as well.
because I've done a little, and I have no passion for Delta or nothing, but they have greatly increased our revenues over the years. From
I won't comment.
I'm from revenues from 2016
Okay, so
at
we've had,
$526,000.
so we've had huge increases. We've had
some increases.
I don't know how many houses, and a lot of that has been found on our end as well.
Yeah, but we made
So,
we
They're not
went from
responsible for $500,000
$3,600
increases.
houses to 4,200
I can-
houses.
I can promise you, they're not
Well,
responsible for
I'm not saying
I know.
they
They pat
I'm not saying
themselves on the back a lot.
they're taking all that credit,
Yeah.
but I think they're reading the meters on time. They're finding
Yeah.
meters that are broken, and to me, that's helping our system for $51,000 a year. We
And-
can't do it for
and-
$51,000 a year.
And
I think
we're doing it with the same amount of people except making them part-time, full-time.
I'd like to see how many orders we have out there for broken meters today.
And that's because MIUs is the main thing waiting to come
Right.
in.
Because I think, again, I have no will with them, but I think from being privatized, I think we're a hell of a lot better shape in our utility revenue than we were prior to
I
having
don't
that.
think they're responsible for all of it.
I didn't say that. For $51,000, I think that's very cheap to continue to have our revenue strong.
Again,
Again, that's 51,000 is a half a person. Then you're taking 2 people that servicing meters to read meters.
and,
You're
and
taking them out of
something that we think we can do very well moving forward, and we think we can do a better job.
I'm in disagreement. I think privatization has helped this tremendously. I think
I'm not saying it didn't help.
I think we can't
I
keep
don't-
up with repairs today, and we take those 2 people out of repairs and put them on reading meters, we're gonna get even further
Meter
behind.
readers takes a couple days,
So,
yeah.
but I do not agree with this, change.
That's our proposal.
I think that's-
You wanna take it out, y'all vote on
I
it when
think
it
it's a
comes
bad,
time.
I think it's a bad change. I think we're taking people out the field, and it's $51,000.
Yeah.
We're looking at projecting $1.9 million in gas and water revenue. And I think staying on top of that keeps that revenue steady.
And they do
Keeps our meters read, and I think it's people, again, I don't have a dog in the hunt with them, but just over time, it looks like we've become more stable and had a better system through our work and through the work. For $51,000, I think that's a
And-
cheap buy to continue to have a good, strong program.
and again, day-to-day operations is not gonna change. There's a small increase, there's a savings there. Not much either way,
Yeah, I'm not
but I
for
think,
that change.
we get a better service,
Yeah,
you know.
I'll prefer that be put back in the budget, just because to me, it's stable. I mean, I've run some bunch of numbers here, I can send it to everybody, and again, we've increased, because we've been so far behind
Yeah.
for the years, so that has
We
helped catch up,
we
but
put big increases in place on gas is almost twice as what it was. You know, look at the revenue
yeah.
there. Water's been increased a few times. There's a lot of things.
Right.
You know, a lot of the day-by-day things, they're still having to go back and check. They're having to do a lot of, you know,
Right.
checks and balances.
Oh, yeah, and I think that's what they
And
do.
again, and-
That's part of the checks
No,
and
we
balances.
do a lot
But I
of
think
checks
that
and
they help-
balances
I
on
think
their
that
end.
They help that.
We just
that-
paid,
Yeah.
we just paid a few months back, OLG, Holy
Oh,
Trinity,
yeah. I saw it.
$50-something thousand dollars
Because the
because
city
of
didn't catch it.
misreads all
Or
the
they didn't
time.
catch it.
Huh?
Who didn't catch it?
No,
Nobody caught it.
they
had a
did.
bad meter, didn't they, or something?
I'm not sure what all it is, you know,
Yeah,
but again,
We missed
you
it, and
know,
they missed it.
they missed it on their readings. They're supposed to kick it out, and then again, you know,
Didn't.
it's just small. It's things like that. That's every month, you know, and all.
Yeah. Again, I don't personally know them, but I think since we've had them, our revenue's been stable. You know, we haven't gotten a report in a long time from them, but
Who,
it seems like they have helped our checks and balances for $51,000. We don't need
We
to hire
check,
a part-time person.
we improve our checks and balances with them.
Yep.
Not the other way around.
But again, I would like to continue that contract.
maybe you check them more might help.
Huh?
Maybe because they're there, you checking them more helps.
Yeah.
But,
Again, I think they've stabilized our revenue, and I think systems
just-
are working.
Only thing I know is that I guess they've had a lot of water and sewer experience, I feel. We got one in there that's been there a couple of years now, in that department doing billing, I guess, huh? Who does the billing, the one up, the,
Oh, they
Utility.
prepare, and then Linda takes everything from there,
okay, you know, just,
you know.
Again,
But you know, they,
you know,
I think it's a small number to.
it's somebody that, you know, puts everything in our control,
mhm.
that's there every day when things are needed, questions be asked, you know.
Mhm.
Again, that's our recommendation.
Yep.
If we didn't think we could do it, we wouldn't.
Yeah,
It's been
I just-
talked about for a few years,
I'll talk.
you know, to move forward with it and take it back over. I think they feel very comfortable down there. They can do it and do a very good job with it. And it-
Not rest council feels, but I'd like to leave them in, continue to have their services. I think they're a benefit to the city, and, you know, for $1.985 million in revenue, I think it's a very small, minute amount to make sure we continue to get fully paid for our utility services. I think they help us. It's my personal opinion.
Yeah.
Well, not my personal opinion, it's a
Yeah.
factual opinion from the numbers that I've
But
collected.
again, they're not responsible for the numbers they showing, all
I
of them.
didn't, yeah, no, I didn't say they are,
Yeah, so
but I know over time.
I just wanna make that clear.
No, they're not,
That-
they haven't increased our revenue by $10 million for sure.
No,
But they found apartment complexes, they found buildings, they found,
No.
their reports have said that they
No.
found. Cause I know we've
Get
been
that
short-staffed
straightened
in
out.
utilities,
no.
and we haven't been out
The
there on the road.
$60,000 Sissy collected.
Yeah.
Denise has found, Sissy has found, others has found.
Right.
We found restaurants with gas that hadn't paid a gas bill in, I
Right.
can't tell you how long.
Oh, yeah,
But-
no, I mean, we
so
found,
There's a lot that's being found
They're-
by the city of Bay St. Louis employees.
so,
Good.
The other thing I'll tell you is they do a lot of estimating, so you see a lot of adjustments.
So are we
things that happen.
disappointed with them?
The Public Works
Is that what
Director
we
has
saying?
come
We're
to us and
disappointed with
with
them?
his supervisor and said they would like to take it over.
Yeah, this,
They
you know,
have the
again, this
capacity.
is coming from, you know, Public Works, well, utilities, utility counter, and all. Still a lot of adjustments gotta go back and be made and everything, and, you know, again, nobody's perfect and everything, but again, and they did, they helped us in the beginning, they
And
helped
they
us
feel
stable
they
it
can
out.
get under control if they did it in-house, they feel it'd be better.
Yeah, you know, you gotta figure, once we get gas online, those readers gonna read on the, you know, computer. You're gonna be able to get those readings there. So our gas should be, you know, way more accurate, this, that, and everything as well. And again, you know, it's just something that, you know,
I'm not one way or the other, I just wanna make sure we can do it, cause I've seen him reading meters on Saturdays and Sundays with his dog in the truck and riding around and stuff, you know, just like grass cutting. They not like, I mean, we got city employees that come out and work special events and do stuff, not saying they don't, but when you get to a contract field, they got a job to do no matter what
Yeah.
day of the week it is, you know.
so.
Yeah, I mean, they read
And-
on certain
and-
days of
Yeah.
of the
And
month.
again,
they read,
you know, if we didn't
it
think
takes
they
2
could do
days.
it, we wouldn't we wouldn't ask for it. You
They're
know, 'cause
using all also.
it's been talked about for 3 years, 4
All
years,
our equipment.
even when prior, you know, Public Works Director was there, was talking about it, you know, so.
Again, I'd still like to stay with them and, you know, next year, 2 years, we get the gas meters online, we look at it again. Service for a small amount of money and, I think it's continue to hold our, utility funds, collections current. I'd like to continue the contract with them. I'm just one. So, if anybody else has any preference or not, again, I'm just one.
Can you send out an email with that information?
Mhm.
Thank you.
Yep.
What is that information?
Send me that too.
I just went back from 2016 to 23, just collections. And but I don't have the raises. I don't, you know, I just went from revenue expense statements from what we projected, what we collected. 2016, water was 526. This year with 970.
And a lot of that's been too, like you say, a couple hundred new homes, and when
Yeah,
I
but
got
it's-
on the council, we was selling the water meter for 150 bucks.
Right.
And losing $500
You
to
gotta
put
look,
it
you
in.
gotta
we've
look,
done-
at-
we've done
you gotta
things,
look
right?
where this revenues come from.
Yeah,
done
we
a
haven't,
lot of
you know,
things.
we've been, in 7 years, we've doubled our revenue, right? We haven't doubled our homes, we haven't doubled our price,
Oh,
but, you know, we might have,
yeah.
but yeah, I mean, we
I'll
gotta look
say,
at that, right?
When we,
We did, cause we went up,
we went, you, water and all that,
Yep.
And,
pretty close to being double.
and you do a
If not-
study, and we're still very low on our rates.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Too low, I think, in my opinion.
and,
oh, yeah.
you know, all your hookups and all has probably
Increased.
more than double.
Yeah.
We've come pretty close,
Right, so,
you know.
But we needed to. If not, we'd be bankrupt for
Oh,
the
gosh,
regular
yeah.
business. We couldn't
Yeah.
have floated
No.
like we did,
No,
Yeah.
we're still,
you know?
Still
Yeah.
breaking even.
we're still,
not making a whole
we're
lot.
not making a whole lot.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. I think a 3% might be
Yeah, but I mean, again, we're, you know, we're
something to look
increasing the
at.
budget. Or whatever for this contract. Cause we take somebody from part-time to full-time, that's gonna be $25,000. So if I don't do that, I'm at $25,000 that I'm using to pay Delta Water to help our checks and balances year over year.
What was that, 25,000 now?
Well, if I'm gonna take somebody from part-time to full-time,
Right?
I mean, they're at 40,000 now, by the time you put benefits on there. I mean, I don't have a payroll in front of me, honestly.
I got one, so to go
You got
from
somebody-
part-time to full-time is 25 to 40,
Yeah, I've just,
with
Yeah.
benefits and everything, 25 to 48, so you're adding
yeah, almost
20,000 there.
$20,000, so for
And then
20,
and then you're adding 15,
Yeah.
you know, 10 or 15 on the other person.
yep, so I'm
So, you know,
actually
you look,
better off
again, it's not a lot
keeping
saving,
Delta Water.
but again, if I, didn't, you know, we just think we can get a better product doing
Yep.
it in-house.
I think we got checks and
I
balance
think,
with
I
them.
think when you have the administration in that department, you know,
What is all, I don't have a payroll ordinance in front of me, I was trying to look it up. What's all increase in payroll ordinance with just the 3% raises and utilities only?
Ooh,
Utilities?
First,
Utility fund went from 982, that's including all benefits, 982 to 1049, 1,049,000. What are you talking,
you said?
talking about
150,000.
50,000?
So $150,000 with no increase.
Not 150 now.
Oh,
50.
I'm sorry.
No,
You said
982
talking-
to,
982.
902 or 982?
you said 902 first.
You're talking about 60 grand,
60 grand.
look,
982.
give or take.
And that's no increase, without raising rates, that's no increase in revenue. So it's just $6,000 loss except for.
we all showing an increase just because of housing and this and that.
Yeah,
You know,
I mean,
and again, this isn't to say we're not, we just don't think, you know, we'd like to get all the numbers in at the end of the year.
Yeah, we can do
These
that
rates can be,
anytime.
I mean, they can be raised at any time.
Yeah, rates,
You know, it's not like our taxes need to be done
Right.
now, but if, but again, if we see fit where we need to go, and we had it in there for, I think, a 3%, you know, across the board and all that. We just like to see where we're at before we jump on that.
yep, good point. All right. So council wants to hold on from Delta Water and see what what we're gonna do, or, I mean, I'm for keeping them on today. It's $30,000, or $30,000 to keep them versus increasing payroll to, or actually, it's probably a wash to keep them versus increasing payroll.
I like to
Okay.
go have a talk with the administration and see, make my decision.
Yep.
But I think they've done good for us. I mean, I think overall.
Yeah,
so.
I think
Yeah, I encourage you
I-
also
I
to
think they're
talk to
doing
Ronnie
good.
as well.
That's what I said, I want to
They're the
talk,
ones who approached us, and again,
Yep.
Linda, the supervisor, feels,
that's why I want to talk
you
to
know,
them.
she could have a better handle on
Yep.
what she's doing.
I just worry about the people in the field.
Yeah.
That's what,
So the driving part generally takes them about 2 days
Yep.
to do it.
So,
And if
Okay.
when they miss a meter, they don't get a read, then our guys have to go out and do
Okay.
manuals.
yeah, tempo,
You know,
So they're going around
right,
doing a lot of
our guys are
misreads,
doing a lot.
yep, okay.
estimates.
All right,
Yeah.
just more data, tempo. Shoot, the screen of death rolling here. All right, back on, so utilities, anything else on utilities payroll?
Nothing major,
Yeah, I didn't think, that's the only thing on
You know,
utilities I saw
a
to
little bit here and there.
talk about.
Um, we're looking at some lightning protection for our wells and
Right,
lift stations, trying to see what we can do with that right now.
all right. I just went through all it, page 108. I went through the budget and highlighted issues, not issues, questions I had. On 108, 109, modernization, waste, sewer, revenues.
Uh-huh.
Just shows money coming in. Department of Health, $2.6 million for the well, 1 point, other projects, transfers. Go Mesa project for the sewer project. Page 110, utility operations, again, modernization, out, I guess.
Yep.
111, transfers out. ARPA grant, utilities, $3.7 million, or $4 million, what the heck it is.
That's the match from the state for
Okay.
the ARPA funds.
Okay,
So we've already, the city's already received all of our ARPA funds. We've already received everything from the county because they gave us 700,000.
Okay.
So now we're submitting receipts to the state as we work this project.
okay. That's your ARPA project, ins and outs. Municipal Harbor Fund, crazy ass people.
We do have
There you go, Sean.
a couple of increases of revenue here.
Yes, slight
They might
increase.
send information out on that on transit.
Yep.
Um,
And that, only other thing, I had the cash balance, beginning cash balance, and that 449, part that's gonna be transferred to the,
capital maintenance,
for
whatever.
the debt fund?
Your beginning cash balance is what they have in their that checkbook right now.
Okay. And where's the 400,000 coming from? Next page or so? Transfer to pay for the
And
note.
where do we move?
We'll get to
You
it.
see, transfer out 400,000 to capital maintenance.
So where's that money at today? What budget is that in?
Then it would move to capital maintenance, which would be fund.
So that money's in what fund right now?
Right now, we have 449,000 in the
Okay.
checkbook.
So that's what I
For
said.
Harbor.
So that 400,000 is gonna come out at 449.
And all the other revenues that come in.
Okay, all
Correct.
right, that's what I was asking.
Yeah.
That's- Okay, that's what I thought, that 449 would be that, turn into that 400,000 transfer out for the payment on that $1.8 million bond.
Yeah.
Yep, okay. That was my question. 117, as you transfer out, that's $400,000 we were just talking about, that's coming out the end of the cash
Correct.
balance. And then your grants and dredging and FEMA projects. The settlement repairs, that's what we expect to get back from Colonel Spraggins?
So if you look on page 118 on revenue, we've got a DMR Tidelands bulkhead
Mhm.
for 600,000.
Right.
Once we put in and we finish up
Okay,
our new Tidelands money, we'll get another 250 that was given this year to go into that bucket.
and then
And then Go Mesa,
Go Mesa. Okay,
that's what we did a request for at the end of June to get it up.
right.
And then we've got to go try and beg.
Mhm.
So we have
And
not
that
got
would
that.
ideally pay for that entire settlement project.
So we did, have
As
we got that
Moffett
1.5 million?
It's not been awarded.
I mean,
We've
we've submitted,
it and
we submitted, okay. I mean, that,
we want to go knock on a door.
but they talk like that's the way we should,
That was what we were advised to do.
yes.
Hurricane,
Yep.
hurricane mitigation.
Yes. Safety too, right? Bulkhead, the sidewalk slipping.
Mhm.
All right, 120 is the harbor grants, in and outs.
Yeah.
Capital maintenance. Transfer in harbor, that's the transfer out of the, spend it, the leftover revenues. And what else? 125 pages later.
It used to be 80-something to it.
Revenues, this is cleanup, pool cash.
Yeah, nothing, community hall.
That's it, all right.
Do.
Any other questions on the budget?
So we're getting 25 grand for library.
Go back and sharpen pencil up top somewhere.
I think we,
Transfer
Let
out
us-
the
let us
reserve
look
fund
at
at one
where-
time, transfer out of
You
reserve
want
fund.
us to look at it and
Somewhere in
see? Any ideas
Try and use an
on
eraser
top of your
somewhere.
head?
Yeah, I mean,
1,000 here and 1,000
thousand,
there.
yeah, 1,000 here, 1,000 there.
I think, I don't wanna increase
I
some of the
think-
revenues. Last year, we bumped some of the revenues up wishing, and
Yeah, had to
it
change
didn't work
them up.
out,
Didn't work
It's
out.
Yeah.
totally paying out.
so.
It had me all shitted up when I started working on the old revenue expense report. Like, these numbers don't match. Riso, he said, we did a budget, and
Using-
I'm like, shit.
May 31 number.
Now I remember. All right, need a motion to spread the, workshop notice on the minutes. August 1st, 2024.
So move.
Motion, Mr. Reed,
Second.
second, Mr.
Oh,
Hoffman. Any discussion, vote to motion?
aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0. Got any other thing, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Riso?
No, I mean, our
Food.
schedule is
Good.
for Tuesday to at least set a public hearing date.
Okay,
And that would follow, because first meeting in
Timeline.
September would be approve it, then that gives us time to advertise so that we beat the September 15th deadline. So
10-4.
we just have a
Again,
couple of numbers, it sounds like we
Yeah.
need to discuss or clean up.
Again, thank y'all, great job on the budget. Appreciate your help, and I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Motion to
Motion,
adjourn.
Mr. Hoffman, second, Mr. Salvos. Discussion,
Aye.
vote to motions, aye, aye. Motion passes, aye.